On this week's Making the Movie, we put out all the action stops as Angelina Jolie trains James McAvoy in the assassination business, with Russian genius Timur Bekmambetov at the helm.
Cut.
In the big screen update of the graphic novel, Wanted. Fed up with the mundane sequels and superhero retreads that Hollywood has served up so far this summer? Well, strap yourself in, as bursting out of the pack and forging an adrenaline-streaked race for box office glory is Wanted. The cinematic adaptation of the Mark Millar graphic novel of the same name. On the way over the next 30 minutes, James McAvoy on becoming the unlikeliest of action heroes.
I've kicked very little ass in my life. Yeah.
Thrill seeker Angelina Jolie on her love of danger.
I love it. I love that stuff.
And director Timur Bekmambetov on why this movie is the medicine for every teenager sat at home.
It's the best medicine against their boring life.
But first, Wanted, the comic version, features an angry young man resembling hip-hop superstar Eminem,
I thought, I'm not going to go blonde, I'm not going to go the full Marshall Mathers.
whose life is turned upside down after meeting a gun-toting sex bomb based on Halle Berry. So, while switching Berry for Jolie is understandable, casting young Brit James McAvoy as the lead was certainly a bold move.
The beginning of the graphic novel was quite helpful, I suppose, apart from the fact that the character looks like Eminem in the graphic novel. That was kind of strange. My first impression of the script was that it could be good, but not necessarily, simply because it's an action movie and you know, it's not my territory, and when you read these things, you know, it could just be rubbish and it could be excellent. It all really depends on who handles it. And then allied to that, you know, the fact that they were making a hard action movie in the mainstream, something that I don't think happens a lot at the moment. All the superhero movies and action hero movies, they're all for all the family, you know, and this one really isn't. I thought that was different and new, and the fact that they were willing to cast somebody like me, who's not the usual action kind of guy, it just all spoke of risk, really.
I'd been home with my kids a lot and had a baby, and this one came my way, and I do love action movies, and I love to get wild and crazy and run around and shoot some things. So yeah, that side of me. I was looking for it, and then I didn't know if there was anything out there that was original, and I didn't know what was happening, and I read this and thought, this one's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be an odd, wild movie.
And the man in charge of this wild ride is another newcomer on the Hollywood action block, Timur Bekmambetov, whose enjoyably bonkers Russian crossover hit Nightwatch made him the perfect choice to bring the chaos of the graphic novel to the big screen.
Now is a time when the characters, heroes of the fantasy stories, has to be more human, to be fun, to have irony, self-irony. And I picked this story, this script to direct because there was this tone. And this tone came from original comic book from Mark Millar. It's his language, it's his vision, it's how he sees the world.
The story of Wanted tells the tale of a corporate cog who discovers innate powers that make him an ideal assassin.
My name is Wesley Gibson. My dad walked out on my mom when I was 18 weeks old.
Wesley Gibson is a example of an everyman, you know, a particular type of everyman at the moment, a young, mid-20s kind of guy, that office drone, without any kind of like corporate drone really.
He's a very average man who's living a very average life. He's even aware his girlfriend's cheating on him and his job sucks.
And he's very much controlled by the world, by his family, by his life, by his boss, by the government, by the taxman, by all these things. And somebody comes along one day and says, the world is not how you perceive it, and you can be free.
I'm sorry?
You apologize too much.
Sorry about that.
Out of the blue, this woman shows up and says crazy things like, I knew your father.
My father left the week I was born, so...
Your father died yesterday on the rooftop of the Metropolitan Building. Sorry. Kind of the most, like we could all imagine, would be the weirdest thing that could ever happen to you in a supermarket.